Good day and welcome back, Doom Tubers. It's that time of the year again. It's freaking hot in the game room, and it's the end of June, which means, of course, it is the end of the second quarter of the year, and time to talk about some possible candidates for Game of the Year, a la end of the quarter update, backlog, junk, whatever. This year I decided kind of not to do a summer backlog, thing. I'd seen some other videos floating around about it, and I kind of wanted to do one, but I figured I do this one already, the quarterly one, and the summer backlog challenge kind of starts at the beginning of June, and so it would be kind of odd for me to, like I did last year, to do a summer thing at the beginning of June, and then at the very end of June talk about games I beat and issue the third quarter projections, I guess you could say, in business terms. So I scrapped the summer backlog thing this year and just decided to stick with this formula. For those of you who care to watch these type of things, thank you for coming on and checking it out. So for the second quarter, ran, of course, April, May, June. I was starting to wonder. It seemed like it was a ways into the month. Maybe even not even finishing anything in the month of April. I really don't think that I did. I wish I had put dates, completion dates, beside these on this list here, but I didn't. And it was a long ways into the quarter. A third of the way through the quarter before I beat a game, and it was a weird feeling. I guess I just wasn't in the mood to play anything pretty hardcore. I don't know what was wrong, but the first game I beat was Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse on the PlayStation 3. It's the reboot version of the classic Genesis game, and I gotta say, this is the first really, not the first like Disney Capcom style platformer I've played. But I don't know. This was definitely the first kind of reincarnation one that I played. There's the DuckTales one out there, and I think there's a few others here and there that they're not. I'm not even really sure. But this one I played because it was free on PlayStation Plus, and I really enjoyed it. It was kind of a blast through. I sat down in one sitting, of course, and just kind of played through all the levels, and really didn't have any trouble with any of the sections. I was playing it on easy, I think, and it was a lot of fun. Surprisingly, I enjoyed it a surprising amount, and yeah, it was a good game. Next up is one that you almost don't have to count because it's it was kind of a personal victory for me to beat Street Fighter 4 vanilla version, just clear the arcade mode on the Xbox 360, which is something that I didn't really think that I would ever do, because 360 controller fighting games, not so much, not for me anyway, and I don't have a fight stick for the Xbox 360, so I don't know, I didn't think that I would ever do it, but I sat down determined to do it, and I did it, and I was very happy to have done it, and that is, as they say, is that. Next up was a Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the PlayStation 2. I have it in the Anniversary Collection. I really, as most of you know, I really enjoy the Street Fighter series, and I like the art style of the Alpha series a lot. I like the way they look, I like the way they play, but I don't want to say that they're overhyped, because I didn't experience them when they were new, when they were the thing, so I can't possibly judge it fairly. But I definitely don't enjoy the older games as much as I enjoy Street Fighter 4, and that's just a personal thing. I think I've spent more time, probably the most time now at this point, in Street Fighter 4 than any other Street Fighter. Even as much as I played Street Fighter 2 back in the day, still doesn't Yeah, because I never actually owned it. I just played it, through at friends' houses and things like that. So definitely, Street Fighter 4 is kind of where my heart is with Street Fighter, and I know that's weird to say, but it's the truth. So yeah, I love the Alpha series, but yeah, it's not as, and I think that's a lot to do with it. It's not as much nostalgia for me. I do enjoy the games though. So Street Fighter Alpha 2 was a good one to play through for me. And then next up was, of course, the absolute masterpiece that is Etrian Odyssey 4, Legends of the Titan for the Nintendo 3DS. That game is just a masterpiece. That game is so good. If you're into first-person dungeon crawlers at all, and you haven't played the Etrian Odyssey series, even if you're not like a hardcore, if you're like really hardcore, RPG guy, classic RPG, the two games on the 3DS might be a little easy for you. I think that you can ramp up the difficulty and make them, quite a bit harder than they are the way that I played them. But definitely the older games in the Etrian Odyssey series are definitely more hardcore. But seriously, or if you're even, especially if you're a newcomer to first-person dungeon crawlers, I say Etrian Odyssey 4 and Etrian Odyssey Untold, the Millennium Girl, are two fantastic jumping-off points to get into first-person dungeon crawlers. So, needless to say, that one, that game is probably going to make an appearance on the top games of the quarter. Next, the 15th game that I beat this year, and not the 15th in this quarter, just the 5th. I'm reading a list as, a running list. Street Fighter Cross Tekken on the PlayStation 3. This game is one that I actually wanted to do a game discussion on. It seems like I actually recorded one that I never uploaded for some reason. I don't know. But it's one of those games, like, prior to me getting it, because it had been out for a while, everyone kind of craps on the game, and for each with their own set of reasons, and I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of the DLC and things. Like when you bought the game, you didn't actually have access to a lot of things at the beginning, and I still like the console version at least. Still, you have to. I don't know if you have to buy them or unlock them. But there's a lot of missing characters on the roster, and the only reason I'm really aware of this is because I have the Vita version also from PS Plus, and the Vita version of the game, you have access to all of the characters from Go. Like you have all of them. And so that was odd, I guess, and I didn't even include that on this list for some reason or another, but I did beat that on the Vita too, numerous times. So yeah, I have beaten Street Fighter Cross Tekken on the Vita and the PlayStation 3. I did definitely enjoy it more on the PlayStation 3, and not because it's bad port on the Vita, but the Vita itself is a fantastic system, but slightly uncomfortable to hold if you're trying to avoid touching the back touch screen. If the game doesn't utilize the back touch screen at all, and it's not, if you touch it doesn't matter, then it's fine. But I wish I brought my Vita up here with me. But you have to hold it kind of like this, and it's not a very big system to kind of hold without kind of putting your fingers out like this. You just kind of got to hold it like this to use the thumbsticks and the buttons and things, and it's just really kind of uncomfortable unless you have some sort of a grip that you can put your hands down on, like an actual controller. And there are a lot of grips out there for sale that are reasonably priced. There are just for that very purpose, because I don't want to say it's a huge flaw, but it's kind of a design flaw that the Vita is so uncomfortable to hold and not touch the back screen. Now, something like a 3DS or something, you have no consequence for putting your entire hand on the back of the system. So, yeah, as much as I like the Vita, definitely not a game suited for, or not a system suited for a game like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, where you do use the back screen for some things, and it's just like, yeah, that's a little awkward to play. So if you're playing Street Fighter Cross Tekken, in my opinion, it is definitely a better experience on the console. And for me, I actually used a fight stick for the entire game, which is awesome. Um, I had picked it up right at this, around the same time that I got my fight stick, and it was a game that I had, all of the practice that I put in, and playing through the arcade mode and stuff was all with the fight stick. Like I never used the controller for that game, so it's something that I really had fun with, and it was an exciting experience. So maybe that's part of it, that it was kind of a new venture for me to use the fight stick for that game and not ever use the pad. So that was nice. Now that I've talked about Street Fighter Cross Tekken so long. Next up, there was another kind of a lengthy gap there between Street Fighter Cross Tekken and the next three games, which are the Call of Duty Modern Warfare trilogy. I beat them back to back to back, and my last upload, I think, was my discussion on those games, so go check out that. I really love them, regardless of all the COD hate out there in the world, and it's fine. To each his own. And those are three games that I really enjoyed. Same with number 19, which is Paper Mario Sticker Star for the 3DS. Once again, a game that garners a lot of hate. It's definitely a game that I really enjoyed. I understand the flaws. I get it. I get the flaws. But all in all, I had a really great experience with the game. So let that be what it is, I guess. Number 20 is a game that I'm hesitant to even put on the completion list because it's only half of a two-part product, and that is Final Doom TNT Evolution for the PC. Final Doom is a twin pack of games. Like it's on the same disc. It's two different games: the Plutonia Experiment and TNT Evolution. And they're two mods of Doom 2 that are fan-made, basically, that it got a hold of and liked, so they published it. So it was very cool, a cool package, kind of a nice send-off for Doom 1 and 2, I guess. And they're pretty hard, they're pretty brutal, but they're exciting. They're both pretty different kinds of games. They really took a different approach to them. I don't even know if the two games were made by even the same people. I haven't read into that. I don't know if one was made by one person and one was made by another person, and the two people have no idea who each other are. I don't know the ins and outs, but so I'm hesitant to put it on this list because it is only half of Final Doom. So I didn't really beat Final Doom this quarter. I came pretty close because I am pretty far into. Let me look here. I can actually tell you. I'm on map 24 of 32. Actually, map 24 of 30 because there's two secret levels, and I actually played them too. So technically, I have 26 of 32 maps on Plutonia Experiment, which is, in my opinion, quite a bit harder than TNT. I don't know what other people think, but I think that Plutonia is a lot harder than TNT. But still a blast, a lot of fun to play, and of course I'm a big Doom fan, so yeah, that's definitely a game that is right up my alley. Number 21, Mario Picross for the Nintendo Game Boy. I actually played this on the 3DS. I bought it on the eShop, and my dog is in here, and I hope that he doesn't kick the tripod. I actually bought it on the eShop. Actually, didn't even buy it. Come here. Come on. Bought it on the eShop. This is Boris. Say hello to the camera, Boris. Hello, Boris. Boris is a Yorkie poo, aren't you? I actually got it on the eShop with Club Nintendo points. I've never really been interested in a lot of the Club Nintendo rewards that they have on there with the different knickknacks and things. Maybe every now and then they'd post something that I would be somewhat interested in, but it's always like so many. It costs so much coinage that I'm just not willing to. I'm not willing to do it, or it's just far beyond what I have. So I bought Mario Picross because it was like 200 coins, something like that. Whatever, a game on my 3DS, and I like Picross, so I played through it, and it was a blast. It took me a while to beat it, but you know, Picross is kind of a game that you can pick up and play a few boards, and then put it down, you know, and then pick it up, you know, a couple weeks later, a month later, whatever you want. So I'm not sure how long exactly, but you know, it was a while. Number 22, Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. I haven't played it actually very much since I recorded my kind of recent gaming video a week and a half ago. Haven't played it much since then or anything, so I'm still kind of at the same position I was. You know, all 50cc cups completed, and like half-ish of the 100cc cups, but I plan on, you know, putting some more time into it and playing it more later on. And last but not least, number 23 is Mystery Case Files Millionaire for the DS. And if you're unfamiliar with this kind of game, it is basically, as my good friend Ari Lewis would say, a virtual I Spy book. And I actually got this game from him. The Mystery Case Files game is actually I don't want to say prominent because I don't know how prominent they are, but a PC series of these point-and-click I Spy type games. But it's centered around kind of a story mode where you're trying to solve a mystery, and that's why you're looking for these clues in the I Spy pictures. It's a great game to just, you know, pick up and play, kill some time. You know, just a very, very casual game, and I love casual games like this. And I actually have several PC ports of or PC games in the same series that, you know, I kind of want to play, especially now that I'm done with the DS one. It's an original DS game, and it really utilized several of the DS things. I think it was a pretty early DS game. I'm not really sure, but you use the stylus for everything, and I don't know if it ever used like any sort of tilt stuff. I don't actually know if the original DS had any tilt stuff, or that was just the 3DS. But it also utilized like the microphone, like you had to like dust for fingerprints and then blow into the microphone to clear off the excess, whatever, the powder or the dust off of the fingerprints. So there was definitely some very cool things. So a few puzzles here and there between the I Spy segments to kind of break it up a little bit and make you feel like you're progressing an actual story instead of just playing, you know, a virtual I Spy book. But it was definitely a very fun game, and I recommend it if you're a fan of like casual kind of point and click games. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I'm sure it's very cheap. That is Mystery Case Files Millionaire, air with the H-E-I-R, for the Nintendo DS. It was a lot of fun. Okay, I have rambled on long enough about all the games that I beat, even though it wasn't that many. I didn't count, but it was numbers number 11 through 23 on the year. So, since, of course, the way this works is 3 months in the quarter, so instead of picking one game per month, you know, a game of the month, I just pick 3 at the end of the quarter. And it's no secret that, of course, Etrian Odyssey 4, Legends of the Titan for the 3DS, would be on this list and in the running, joining some other games which I can't even remember off the top of my head, like BioShock, something else. Gosh, Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, BioShock, and something else. Maybe with Singularity. I honestly don't remember. But this game right here is going to be hard to kind of dethrone this one. I think this was my favorite one so far this year, even kind of above Zelda and BioShock. So that's kind of where it's at. But just for the sake of keeping, you know, with 12 games by the end of the year, we picked 2 more. Did pick Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare for the Xbox 360. I don't need to go into a lot of detail. I talked a lot about the games in my last video, so go check that out. Yeah, I loved it. It's great. And then, why not? Paper Mario Sticker Star for the 3DS. Top game of 2014 for Doom Waves. So, Haters gon' hate, as it said, but I don't care. I had a lot of fun with it. Now, to talk about a few games that I'm either playing or would like to play, just 3 here. No worries. I'm not making this a kind of a backlog, anything. You know, we're just going to talk about 3 games, 2 of which that I am currently engaged in. Well, we'll go ahead and call it a 4th one because Final Doom, Plutonia is there. It's almost done. Really, if I had waited to make this video until tomorrow, which today is the 29th, tomorrow's the 30th, maybe if I had waited till like midnight tomorrow night, maybe I'd have Plutonia beaten by then, but whatever. We'll call it good. We'll call Plutonia. We'll call Final Doom for next quarter. But 2 other games that I'm involved with right now, and then 1 game that I probably will get to after I beat one of these. First up is Prey for the Xbox 360. I talked about this in my recent gaming video also. It's kind of an odd first-person shooter. I'm not in love with it yet. I want to love it because it's definitely my style of game, my style of first-person shooter, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I like it a lot. It's just maybe not quite as much as I was hoping for, and but we'll get there. We'll get it finished because I think I'm about halfway through. I'm not positive. I think I'm halfway through. And then this game right here. Oh man. When I put this game down, I thought I was further in, but I really wasn't that far in. I was only about 12 hours into the game. I would have sworn it was at least 20, but I think that I thought that because the game felt so slow to me in the beginning, but I wasn't quite sure what I was doing or where I was going. I have never claimed to be an aficionado or an expert on RPGs. And I've played so few of them to completion in the past that when I got this game, I really, I didn't really know what was going on. But since I've put this game down, I have finished 1 other game in the series and almost another one, but yeah, that is Dragon Quest IX, Sentinels of the Starry Skies. Now, when I said that, I've beaten Dragon Warrior 1 since I put this game down, and also a lot of Dragon Warrior 2, but I got my save data corrupted on the Game Boy cartridge that I had, so I said screw it, and the NES version is so hard to get through because the second half of that game is just, well, really not even the second half. The first half is crazy hard to get through, but yeah, that's a crazy game. But this game right here, Dragon Quest IX, the story on this game is really, it's really light, and that's okay because at least with the Dragon Quest games that I've played, the story is really light. I mean, the story in Dragon Warrior 1 is almost non-existent, pretty much non-existent. Same with Dragon Warrior 2. They tried to do a little bit more, but still not so much. And I've heard that other games, they get a little bit more, like with 4, 5, and 6 especially, and I don't know about 8. I think that they try to do more story stuff, but I don't really know. I'm not an expert on the series, but this one, pretty light on the story, which I think is why I wasn't hooked in the beginning. But once I got a ways into it, the second time through, I started to progress the story. I felt like I was better at the game than when I put it down. It's like I've had a few other RPGs that I've beaten that I was a better player, and so I was making smarter decisions about equipment and the attacks and things, and it was just like, wow, this game is awesome. And I was having so much more fun this time, and I've kind of spent I was about 12 hours when I picked it back up, and now around 28 hours, and that's just been about a week. I've been playing this game pretty hardcore for the last week or so, especially today. I've played for probably 4 hours today alone. This is a fantastic RPG, but when I say that, and I don't want to get like crucified for this, but this is a very casual RPG. It's very, very easy. Especially like if you play kind of the way that I played, in that I spent a lot of time grinding metal slimes in one specific area. And if you're familiar with the Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest games, you know that metal slimes give you like 10 times the experience that other enemies in the area give you. So where normal enemies in this area were giving you 300 experience, the metal slimes were giving you about 2,500, 2,600, 2,700, 3,000 experience every time you defeat them. So I spent quite a bit of time and really just powerhoused my character levels up quite a bit. And also there's another area where I spent a lot of time grinding for gold golems. Now, if you're familiar with especially with Dragon Warrior 1, I remember these very well. Is these specific monsters, they're pretty tough to beat, like in the first game, like right when you first encounter them, because they're pretty strong, but they give you a ton of gold for every one of them that you beat. So for every one gold golem you beat in this game, in 9, you get 505 gold. Whereas everything else, you might fight a battle with like 4 or 5 other little enemies and you'll get like 150 gold or something like that. So you beat one gold golem and you get 505. And there's an area that's in a desert, and you kind of circle around this area and you can fight gold golems till the cows come home. I mean, you just like crazy, just farm gold. So pretty much now I'm to a point where every time I get to a new town, no problem. I just walk into town, walk to the armor shop and armor shop and weapon shop, and just buy up the latest, the most expensive, most powerful stuff, and sell off my old stuff, and I'm still good to go. I've got a ton of gold, which is very nice. And if you're familiar with the story, I've got 6 out of 7 figs, and that's, you only need 7, but I don't know how much left. Like I don't know what you have to do after you get the 7. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm just happy to be where I'm at with this game, and I'm happy to be enjoying it. I think that's the best part, is that I'm just having so much fun with it, and it is very casual. Like the attacks and the commands, the menus, everything is just really easy. Like there's nothing complex about it. It's just, straight up turn-based. You attack, they attack kind of stuff. It's a fantastic game. I love the Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest games that I've played, and this one is certainly no exception. A lot of fun, and I think that as far as the DS games go, I think this is like the cheapest one too. There's 4 DS games, I think 4, 5, 6, and 9, and I think this is the cheapest one. So if you are looking to get into the series, this is a really good jumping in point, I think, because the games have nothing to do with each other than, enemies and weapons and attacks and stuff share names and likenesses and things like that. But yeah, definitely a fantastic game, and I'm really hoping that this time I can just blast through to the end and finish it. And then because of my my passion for this game currently and my passion for the series, I definitely need to go back and hit up Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior 2 again, start over, and just get that thing beaten, because I really want to play it. I like the game. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad game. It's just, if you go straight from playing 1 and really enjoying it, and then you go to 2, it's such a drag. The game it plays pretty much the same, except now instead of a one-person party, you have a three-person party, and you don't get them all at the beginning. Like, you get them at different times. So you start out alone, and then you get your second person, and then it's just you two for a little while, and then you get your third person, and then she is just, it's a she, and she is just crazy weak when you get her, just disgustingly weak, and it's hard to get past that point alone. That's where I got stuck the first time that I played the game. When you get your third party member, it is just a slog because she is so weak, and you have to spend so long grinding right in the area that you found. You recruit her just to get her to a point where you don't need to go visit the inn after every single battle. So that is one of the big hang-ups with Dragon Warrior 2. And then once you get your stride a little bit, you know, and you get a little bit of strength up, you can kind of get through some dungeons and get some. You can get somewhere, and I was in that stride when my save file got corrupted. But according to Dustin, there comes a section at the end of the game, or towards the end of the game, that is just treacherous and not fun. So, but I am looking forward to beating the game, because I think that will be a great accomplishment for me to have finally laid Dragon Warrior 2 to bed. And then maybe I can finally play Dragon Warrior 3, which is touted as one of the best games in the series, coming off of Dragon Warrior 2, which is considered one of the worst, if not the worst, in the series. So that is all that I've really been doing, and yeah, that's pretty much the only things that I can think of right off that I know that I'm probably going to play for the foreseeable few weeks. Dragon Quest 9, Prey, Final Doom, and probably Dragon Warrior 2 once I beat 9. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with this 32-minute video. I'm sure a lot of people won't, and that is fine. So thanks for watching. Doomwaves out.